Hey, so today's the big adventure I've been teasing for, 3 videos now. I'm doing it with friends, so I don't know how much talking slash audio I'll be doing on the video, so I might have to dub something afterwards. So that's why I'm doing this preamble. So, yeah, I'm not telling you what I'm doing yet, but please watch. One of the benefits of being driven to the location was I could take in a lot more of the scenery, and my god, Lake District is so breathtaking. It's like another world, and I love it. We arrived at the Wasdale car park just after 1 o'clock, and I'll be honest, it was still pretty warm after the midday heat, and in future I'd probably like to do this in the morning when it's cooler. But still, the views, well, they speak for themselves. So after about a 3.5-hour drive, we've made it to the start location, Scafell Pike, the Reboot. And I say reboot for a couple of reasons. One, I'm wearing my new boots, which more on them later. And I guess the other reason I will explain as we go. But this walk was definitely going to be one of them walks where I knew not that I'd struggle only physically, but also mentally. And, well, let's see what happens. But first, let's catch up with the gang. These guys, well, without them, I'm not sure I would have made it. So I'm eternally grateful to them. But again, more on them later. I say reboot because I came here before, and this time it's going to be a bit different. And I'll be honest, I think it's going to be an emotional one, this one, so buckle up. And spoiler alert, it was pretty emotional. I didn't know how emotional, but yeah, this was a lot tougher going ahead than I would have thought. I don't know if they're just naturally quicker than me, or I'm just pacing myself because I know what's ahead. But I am just hanging back a little bit, conserving my energy, and enjoying the day, because look, it's a beautiful day. I'm not sure if this is easier or harder than last time. But the view is still incredible. I don't know if it was nerves, anxiety, or just simply memories, but quite early on I felt very heavy and sluggish, and that definitely affected my walking pace. After about 45 minutes, I had to stop and have a break because, I don't know, I felt dizzy and a bit not nauseous, but a bit out of wax. And luckily, a couple of the guys held back, and to be honest, they all did. And I'm eternally grateful for that, because without them, I think I would have turned back and gone back to the car and probably cried, if I'm honest. But we pressed on. Well, I pressed on. They all seemed perfectly fine to me, which I was envious of, if I'm honest. The higher we got, the windier it seemed to get. That's one thing I did remember from the first time I went up Scafell, was the incredible winds, and this time did not disappoint. There were a couple points where I did feel like I was going to get blown over, which wasn't ideal. But at least the weather was clear and dry this time. But eventually, after about 2 hours 20 minutes, we made it to the top, and this time it was far clearer than last, and the views did not disappoint. Could literally see for miles and miles and miles. Well, made it. I don't think words can explain the feeling of accomplishment I felt when I got to the top again, because there are definitely points where, like I said earlier, had I been alone, I don't think I would have made it. I think I would have turned back, doubting myself. But because of these guys, I pressed on. And I think that's an important lesson I learned this time, is sometimes it's best not to do things alone, and sometimes you have people you can rely on, which is good to be a part of a team, because we were a team that day. But there is another reason why I'm glad I made it to the top, because this walk was also about me letting go of the past, which I didn't know how to put into words. But then on the journey away home, if by fate I came across this poem, and to be honest, it perfectly summed up a lot of my feelings. Sadly, I didn't catch the author of the poem's name, so I can't credit them. But the poem in question went, I wonder if you still remember the promises we never got to keep. I hope that life is kinder to you than it was to us. Hope you find the peace that we couldn't find together. I hope your smile becomes effortless, your heart becomes lighter, and your dreams finally feel like home. As for me, I will carry what we almost were with gratitude instead of regret, because loving you, even from a distance, even in silence, changed me forever. So here's my final goodbye, not to the memories, not to the lessons, but the hope that our ending could have been different. Goodbye, my forever that never happened. You will always be the love that taught me how to let go. And I guess I'm finally holding on to letting go. I was processing a lot of emotions right at this moment, and it was a strange feeling. Cathartic wouldn't be the word, but I don't know. I guess I just felt free. And another reason I was feeling very sad at this moment was because it dawned on me that this would be quite possibly the last time I'll ever see this view, because I don't think I'll ever climb Scafell Pike again. I mean, there's plenty of other big mountains and hills to climb, so why would I go back up this one? Had a quick packed lunch, and before I knew it, we're heading back down. Time seemed to be very weird at the top of Scafell. But the descent, well, the views were still stunning. And again, I'm raving about the views, but I mean, come on, just look. How can anybody not see this in life? I know I said I'd never come back to Scafell Pike again, but there's just something familiar about it for me, and it feels like home, which I know is probably a strange thing to say, but it just feels right, for lack of a better word. So who knows? And as always, I was making friends with the locals. I love sheep. We had another quick break, about halfway down, which I was relieved at because, to be honest, my knees were shot, especially my right one, and I was in a lot of pain at this point. But I'm manned up. I hate saying that nowadays, in this climate we live in. But yeah, I just persevered and carried on. Again, being part of a group greatly helped keeping me motivated. And also, I'd found out that we were going for pizza after this, so Alonzi. All I can say is by this point, my legs were like jelly, and thank God that I was just thinking of pizza. And yeah, it's probably a dumb thing to say, but the thought of that pizza just kept me going. So, we're nearly at the bottom now. I have no idea on times at the moment. I'll let you know as and when. Going up was easier than last time,
but mainly because I kept pushing myself. Coming down, again, easier, although I think I've hurt my knee. But hey, keep on trucking, eh? Oh, ow, see? Ow.
And my new boots, they served me surprisingly well to say they're only a 10 off Vinted. I originally bought them for some Indiana Jones boots, but yeah, they lasted me and they were actually comfy.
And there we have it. Scafell Pike for Reboot. I'm not sure how much I'm going to dub over this, because when I got to the top it was way too windy to talk. Yeah, I'm knackered, but a good kind of knackered. And I'll post times and route at the end like normal. I don't know what else to say, to be honest, guys. But look, what a beautiful evening it is. And yeah, I guess get outdoors.